Got that. Hopefully, we'll be seeing Ben tonight at the Olympic Gardens or somewhere like that. Going back to being who he really is and doing what he really wants to do, boozing and cruising. And then one of the double lap dances, that's not a bad idea. Going through the Las Vegas Yellow Pages under the listings for entertainers. Entertainers who come to your hotel room and accept Visa and MasterCard. Come to your room and entertain. By the way, speaking of which, and I know we have Las Vegas listeners who know this is true, when you take out the Sprint Yellow Pages in Vegas, if you've ever been to Vegas, you would know this. Take out the Sprint Yellow Pages for Las Vegas. Sprint is a local phone company in Vegas, in addition to being the PCS company and long-distance company. But the Sprint Yellow Pages in Vegas looks like the back pages of Hustler magazine. They have a section called Entertainers, and you go to it, and it's page after page of alcohol services. Oh, I'm sorry, entertainment services, yeah. Where they'll send you any ethnicity you want, and they accept Visa and MasterCard. For what exactly? I don't know. They can make animal balloons? Not sure. Call them for more information. So, that's the word. Ben Affleck dumps Jennifer Lopez. He dumped that bitch, in my opinion. I have to get that in because it's a litigious society. Who knows, maybe they are still blissfully happy together. Doubt it. Now, what has been fascinating to me about this, and it's what I want to talk about this hour with women who are listening to our program. The fact is that in addition to just about everybody thinking this was a bad idea, these two getting married, women were especially emotional about this and vocal. And it seemed to me that at least some of the women I spoke to about this somehow did not want Ben Affleck not only marrying Jennifer Lopez, didn't want him marrying anybody. These are the same women who get worried when George Clooney is rumored to be with somebody. They don't want to see that happen. And it's amazing to me. It's almost as if these women believe that somehow they have a shot at meeting or dating or even marrying these guys. Now, I'm speaking as a guy. Maybe you women can flesh this out for me a little bit, but I'm wondering why you even care. The overwhelming odds are, A, you'll never meet Ben Affleck or George Clooney or any of these guys who are, quote-unquote, hot. You'll never meet them, much less date them, much less still marry them. It's not only because they're famous and you don't live near them and aren't likely to run into them in your circle, but it's because you're probably in some cases a little older than they can afford or not as attractive as what they can afford. They can do much better than you. Even if they were to meet you, they would not be likely to be with you. So I don't know why women get so emotional about this stuff. You know, and it's one thing for teenage girls or preteen girls to get upset when they hear Justin Timberlake might have a girlfriend. But these are adults we're talking about. Adults. You're never going to meet Ben Affleck. He's not going to go out with you unless you're sliding down a pole at a strip club somewhere, okay? And even then, odds are slim. Not likely. Why are women so emotional about this? I mean, let's face it. You're probably never going to meet Ben Affleck or Jennifer Lopez. Why do you care so much about the personal lives of these hot celebrities? Why do you care? Why do you mind? What does it matter to you? I mean, you could ask a woman what she thinks about the recall election or what she thinks about the war in Iraq. She doesn't even know what you're talking about. The minute you mention Ben Affleck, they flip. Why is this so important? Why are women so emotional about not just Ben Affleck, but male celebrities that women think are hot? Getting all involved in their social lives, their personal lives. You know what? Can I tell you something that I've said before, and I want to make this really clear, as someone who has been written about in magazines and newspapers many, many times. These articles are rarely accurate. They are frequently containing hyperbole spun by a publicist, spun by a movie studio, spun by a TV network. Do you really think that when you're reading People magazine, you're getting an in-depth story on somebody with true information? You're getting the stuff the publicist allowed to be in the piece. The king of this stuff, Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise has a publicist named Pat M. Kingsley, whose agency, creatively enough, is called PMK. And before you interview Tom Cruise on, I don't know where, The Tonight Show or whatever, reportedly what happens is you have to sign an agreement talking about the things you will not bring up to Tom Cruise. Things you won't mention. You can't sucker punch Tom Cruise or ask him about something you didn't agree to previously. If you do, there's all these sanctions against you. So why would anyone reading an article about Tom Cruise believe a word of it? It's whatever Pat Kingsley will allow to be published in magazines and newspapers. That's what it is. I'm not even saying it's right or it's wrong. Tom Cruise is... It's a free country. It's supply and demand. Everybody wants Tom Cruise. And so people are willing to bend over and pull their pants down to get an interview with him. No implications there, so don't come after me. People who are the most likely to kiss up to Tom Cruise and ask only the questions that are permitted, not bring up things like Scientology or put up Nicole Kidman. I'm sure these are the issues you can't talk to him about. If you don't agree to that, you can't talk to him. That's it, done. Okay? And that's okay. You know what? I have a publicist, so I'm not even criticizing. The thing is, when you see an article about Tom Cruise, why would you believe any of it? It's what the publicist allowed to be in it. And that's why I say, all you women out there who read People magazine and you watch the Entertainment Tonight and Access Hollywood and Extra and all those shows, why do you believe any of what you see on there? Because I've been on Extra, I've been on Entertainment Tonight, I've been on Access Hollywood, and I'm telling you, the stuff that gets in, when I do an interview, my publicist is here with me. And the stuff I say is the stuff I allow you to know. I'm just telling you. That's how it's done. That's how it's done with anybody who's anybody. You have a publicist, and he acts as a filter, and all the stuff you don't want to publicize, he makes sure it doesn't get in, and all the stuff you do want to publicize, he makes sure you say it 5 times, and put a chiron on the screen, just for added measure. That's how it works. You don't know Ben Affleck. You don't know George Clooney. You don't know Tom Cruise. You don't know any of these guys. Why are you so concerned about the personal lives of these people when you don't know anything about their personal lives? You don't know anything about them. At all. Why do you care whether they have girlfriends or who they get married to? They're never going out with you. So, ladies, please do tell me why you care so much about this stuff.
Tom Leykis. Woof. Tom Leykis. Woof. 800. 500. Tom.
This is insanity, and you people are insane.
The Tom Leykis Show. On 100.7.
The buzz of Seattle.
The buzz.
Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. I'm talking to women here at 1-800-5800-866. I want to find out why you care about the social lives or the sex lives of famous actors, other male celebrities who you think are hot. Why do you care? Much less, why do you believe anything written about these guys? I don't get it. Judy on the Tom Leykis Show. Can you explain this to me?
Because men are hotter when they're available.
But they're not. Here's the point, Judy. I see you're 47 years old. They're not available to you.
I know he's not available.
So what makes it hotter? He would not be available to you if you ran into him in a hotel lobby, drunk, with his hotel key in his hand. He would not be available to you.
You're right, realistically, but I can still fantasize.
But you could fantasize about him screwing around with his wife or girlfriend, too, couldn't you?
No. It's totally different. Men look different when they're married. Don't you agree?
That men look different when they're married? I don't know. I don't look so closely to notice a distinction like that. How do they look different? Ben Affleck, when he was engaged, looked like he was going to the electric chair when I saw him at the Palm. But
they look absolutely different. They get pudgy. They get all the things that you complain about women doing. Men do the same. No, well, I'm not saying all of them, but many men do.
Not male celebrities. Did Tom Cruise look pudgy when he was with Nicole Kidman?
You're right. He didn't.
Come on. Arnold Schwarzenegger, does he look flabby?
No. But it's just...
Who are these guys?
If he's
Ben Affleck get a little chunky?
If he's with J-Lo, I'm going to cross him off my list of fantasizing about him.
Why?
Because he's got her. What is so?
But the point is, even if he didn't have her, even if he had an erection that stretched from here to the other side of the room, he's never going to be with you.
I know that.
Ever.
I know that.
So how can you fantasize? I mean, doesn't reality tread on your fantasy life? Even J-Lo there, J-Lo not there, he's never going to touch you.
How could I? I absolutely couldn't. You just said my age. I'm 47 years old.
Yes.
I have a very active fantasy life, and Ben Affleck happens to be in it.
But it's a fantasy.
You're right. I'm a smart person, and I know.
Him being with Jennifer Lopez doesn't make it any less likely that he's going to be with you, because the likelihood of him being with you is zero.
I still tell
Can't be less than zero.
And I agree with you. I'm not disagreeing.
How can that possibly ruin your fantasy? When he got with Jennifer Lopez, the odds of him being with you went from 0 to 0.
You're right. But he's not on the list. It's hot guys that are single.
Hot guys that are single.
And you're right. I agree. But the married ones don't get on my list.
Hang on a second, Judy. Angela, what did you want to say to Judy here?
I just want to tell her she sounds so retarded. You don't have a list, girl. You don't even have a chance to even be with those men, okay? If they want to get married, let them get married. Mind your own business. You don't want no one in your business. Why you all even there?
But what you're not hearing is Tom's question was, why do we care? That was his question. You're not answering his question.
I'm telling you how I feel.
I know, but we're talking
I'm calling in to disagree with you, not disagree with. I agree with Tom, okay?
Yeah.
No matter what he says, I think that he is brilliant.
And I do too. I'm not saying that he isn't. But I'm not
you're saying scratch him off your list, men look different. You don't know. I think that just makes you sound ignorant.
I mean, let me point out about men, okay? Rebecca Romaine gets married to John Stamos. Do you think guys stop beating off to pictures of her when she appears in a spread somewhere?
No, absolutely not.
Daisy Fuentes, if that's the flavor you like, okay? Daisy Fuentes, I happen to believe when she turns 40, she's going to look like the Michelin Man, okay? But that's fine. Daisy Fuentes is on the cover of Stuff magazine.
Yeah.
She's married. Do you think guys say, oh, no.
Exactly.
I can't fantasize about that.
And Tom, you don't think that women look different after they're married? They don't have a different aura. They're less available.
Well, not if they're celebrities. No.
No.
I mean, the whole key to being successful if you're a chick, you got to be a vamp. You got to go out there and slut it up. You got to go out there and dress skimpily. I mean, come on. Do you think Rebecca Romaine dresses like a soccer mom or something?
Does men stop looking at Pamela Anderson because she's been married and she has all that?
I'm not talking about men looking at women. I'm talking about women looking at men. And
that's what I'm trying to understand. I mean, men don't care about this.
Yeah, exactly. Men don't care if women are married.
But I'd be interested to.
They'll still look.
I'd be interested to see what other callers will tell you, Tom, about whether they agree with me right now. But I think other callers will agree, and maybe it's callers, the older callers that call that. Being single, you look different, and maybe that's maturity on my part.
Maybe that's true of the guy next door. but I don't think that's true of a guy who has to appear on screen and show his ass once in a while. Thanks a lot for the call.
The Tom Leykis Show.
4:30 on 100.
This is the Tom Leykis Show.
From Los Angeles at 1-800-5800-TOM. Why is it that women care so much about the social lives of celebrities they think are hot? These are men you're never going to get your hands on, so who cares? They're married, single, dating several different women. Why do you care? Allie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Well, hi, Tom.
Hi, Allie.
How bizarre and really wonderful to talk to you.
I totally agree.
Very strange. I guess the only thing that I have to say about this is overall I think you're right, but what I think the point that you're missing is that women, I don't think, really care about the men. I don't think that anybody who's sane and rational about an issue like that would ever believe that they have a shot at being with one of those men. But what I really think the point is that, and I think you might agree with this, is that women really like to see other women lose.
Oh, I absolutely agree with that. Could very well be the reason that women would rather see another woman lose than to see any man win. Or, for example, if you really like Ben Affleck, why wouldn't you want him to be happy, happy, happy?
Absolutely.
And the bottom line is, if it's a woman that makes him happy, 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 no woman wants that to happen.
Absolutely.
Same thing with George Clooney. Same deal.
Yeah, because, I mean, what are, like you said.
And I can't tell you how many women talk about Tom Cruise. Don't be Cruise. Look at her. She's not that attractive. She doesn't have that much of a rack. Look at her. That's how women are.
Yeah, and some of those...
Tom Cruise isn't going out with you. Whoever you or anybody else listening. It isn't happening. So why do you care if he goes out with Penelope Cruz? If that's what floats his boat, fantastic.
I agree. Great.
Thank you, Allie.
Thanks.
Appreciate the call. It's 1-800-5800-TOM. Cindy on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi. Hey, Tom.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi. I don't think a lot of women really care, like truly deeply care about it. It's more, I guess, that we like the drama.
The drama of what?
Of, their relationship, their lives and stuff. It's just something.
But you don't even know the... I mean, you don't even know right now if Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez have actually broken up. If they have, you don't know why. If there's ever an interview in People magazine that explains why, it'll be a lie.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So why do you even care?
Like I said, I don't know. Well, I don't care. I mean,
everyone I talk to says, well, personally, I don't care, but then all the other women care.
Yeah, they do. It's just something else. I mean, just like you were talking about your friend and her married life, her husband has a lover or anything. It's just...
These women should worry about their own love lives and stop worrying about male celebrities.
Yes, that's true.
All right, Cindy, thank you.
Okay.
It's Susan on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How you doing?
Okay.
How you doing, Tom?
Good.
All right. A couple of things I want to make a comment of. I'm not really concerned about, their social life. I look at the Hollywood actors for their looks and, the 47-year-old woman earlier talking about fantasizing. While I agree with her that, you use them to fantasize, but you shouldn't be able to care whether or not, they're single or they're,
Now, when you say using the fantasize, is this all about masturbation? Is that what this is?
Yes, absolutely.
So this is what...
And, and you talked about, well, you're never going to have them. Well, that's the whole definition about fantasizing. It's just it closes to zero your chance of being, with this man. But I don't agree with women who get totally obsessed about finding out the love life and all of that. I use, those men solely for my own, personal satisfaction. That's what it is.
Yeah. You're never going to know the truth about people's love lives. Look at all the people who thought Rock Hudson was straight.
Absolutely.
And they thought they knew all the women he was dating.
Uh-huh.
And the guy dies of AIDS. I mean, come on.
And, when you have, callers like that 47-year-old woman and the other one who called trying to refute her statement, I mean, and couldn't even argue intellectually, what her main point is, and that's how we ended up with men like you who look down to women like us.
Oh, because how can you take somebody seriously who's worried about whether Ben Affleck is going to marry Jennifer Lopez?
Well, I don't care. You're right. I agree with you on that point. I don't think anybody should care, and you got to have your purpose. If you want to think about the actors, and do it like I do. Just use it for your own, satisfaction.
Susan, thank you very much. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. It's Molly on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How are you doing?
All right, Molly.
Totally weird situation here. My ex-boyfriend, we were watching the Jaguars play football one night, and I made a comment of, ooh, Pete Mitchell, I'd do him, and he kicked me out of the house.
Good for him. He did the right thing.
That's fantasy. Like, I really think Pete Mitchell's going to walk through our front door.
But guess what? You live in Seattle. Who did he play for, the Jacksonville Jaguars?
At the time, we were in Jacksonville, Florida. We lived in Jacksonville.
All right. So don't you think you could be at a sports bar after the game and he could walk in?
No.
You couldn't?
Well, I wouldn't be anywhere without my ex-boyfriend.
What if he went to the bathroom? Or you went to the bathroom?
Oh, if Pete Mitchell walked up and was standing in my face, there's no way I would want to.
Now, let me ask you a question, Molly. I asked this of Susan, who just called in. Is this all about masturbation? I mean, is that what this is about?
No, it's just...
Oh, what?
I don't even know.
Well, look, if you wouldn't actually do him, why would you say something like that?
It would be like a fantasy.
But what do you do with a fantasy like that?
You just enjoy the fantasy.
How?
If it were to happen, then it would...
But it doesn't involve masturbation. In what way do you enjoy it if you're not masturbating?
You just think about it. You think about it. I don't know.
Well, don't you think that in some way says that your boyfriend is inadequate?
Well, he's my ex-boyfriend, so obviously he was.
Well, but he's your ex-boyfriend because he dumped you.
Oh, yeah, he kicked me out. The relationship was over.
He dumped you for saying that, and obviously you were. But you were obviously. Can you blame him for thinking that that in some way he was commenting on you were commenting on his inadequacies?
Well, my husband now, he makes comments about movie star women, and I don't get mad.
But you know what? Maybe he would do them.
I know he wouldn't if they walked to the door. I know.
You don't know that. You know what? I think men are much more upfront about this stuff. Women are very circumspect. I think the average guy, if he had a chance at Pamela Anderson, there's no way he'd say no. We did a show about Pamela Anderson having hepatitis C, and guys said they'd do her anyway.
Ooh.
I'm serious.
No. I don't think he would do that. I think it's just like a fantasy.
You think he'd tell you?
Would he tell me?
Yeah, you think he'd tell you?
If he did something like that?
No, do you think he would tell you that he would or wouldn't? Like, you think
he would. I mean,
but you think if he really would, do you think he'd say, by the way, I'm serious?
I think he would say it, but I think if the time came, he would not do it.
Or maybe you would believe that or really want to believe it.
I would really want to believe he would not do it.
I know you would really want to believe that, but I'm telling you, as sure as I'm standing here, that's only based on the fact that you live in Seattle and the odds of meeting famous people are kind of slim, so you feel fairly confident. But I live in Los Angeles. I see hot chicks. I'm talking about celebrities. In person. I've seen Halle Berry in person. I have seen Brittany Murphy in person. I have seen, the list is long. It is possible to run into the...
But now, I don't know if you're happily married or not, but if you are, would you do them if the opportunity came, or would you just keep it a fantasy?
The only reason I wouldn't is not because I'm such a great guy. The only reason I wouldn't is that I'm not into fantasy. Now, I know I'm not the average guy, okay?
Hasn't it? You've never had a fantasy?
No. My fantasies are about women who I'm likely to meet and could possibly get. Okay. For example, every once in a while, I don't know why, maybe she has very low self-esteem. You see a 9 working the register at the supermarket. Okay. And she just happens, she's 22, hot as a pistol, probably, doesn't think she's pretty or whatever. There she is saying paper or plastic.
But would you...
Now, I've had fantasies about chicks like that.
Well, yeah, but would you risk your relationship with a spouse for something?
Well,
you would leave it as a...
Molly, I've said on the air I have been a very bad boy over the years.
That's not good.
I've been a very bad boy.
That's not good, Tom.
I have allowed. In fact, there was not much of a fantasy. If I saw someone that hot, I jumped right in.
But doesn't that kind of see that would crush your fantasy? What happens if she wasn't good?
Then all the more reason not to fantasize about it.
Oh, true. No, I just couldn't though. You fantasize about him, and you just, I will admit, every once in a while I've closed my eyes with my husband and imagined Brad Pitt.
Why? Is your husband inadequate?
No, no.
Then why would you imagine Brad Pitt? Why don't you just look at him?
You just can't help it. He's so fine looking.
Brad Pitt?
I think he's sexy. Brad Pitt's very sexy.
I was having this conversation with my girlfriend, and she says, Brad Pitt was once with Gwyneth Paltrow, and she's so much more attractive. And I talked like a guy, and I said, Gwyneth Paltrow is flat as a board. Jennifer Aniston has huge cans. Done. And what T word does Brad Pitt's name rhyme with? Come on.
What T word?
Yeah, what word beginning with T rhymes with Pitt? Don't say it.
Okay.
Come on. The guy can do better than Gwyneth Paltrow, who gives every indication of being a whiner and a drama queen. Everything I read about, of course, why would I believe any of that? I don't really.
Well, he's still with Jennifer Aniston, right?
Of course.
Well, she's very attractive.
I'm just telling you that I had a conversation with my girlfriend, and she thought Gwyneth Paltrow was more attractive. And I would say that most guys I know, Gwyneth Paltrow is not even on the radar screen.
No,
not even in the top 100.
I think him and Jennifer make a great...
You're never going to see Gwyneth Paltrow in Stuff or FHM because young guys couldn't care less about Gwyneth Paltrow.
Honestly, I don't even know who she is.
There you go. Well,
Isn't that awful?
That tells you something else. I'll tell you something else, too. Meg Ryan, you see this? What is she, 80 now? Meg Ryan is doing her first nude scene. You think she's... All women say that because she's non-threatening. She's the kind of woman you don't think will take your boyfriend or husband away. She's not hot. She's bland looking.
My husband actually fantasizes about her.
Come on, he tells you that. He tells you that because you're not going to give him any crap about it.
She's not a threat.
That's my point.
Because she's not going to walk in my front door anytime soon.
But the point is, neither is Penelope Cruz. But you know what? And Salma Hayek. Hello. What?
I think Penelope Cruz is ugly.
Well, see, women say that, but guys don't. And what about Salma Hayek? Look at the body on her.
Who is she?
Who is Salma Hayek?
I don't know.
Oh, my God.
Tom Leykis.
Come on.
1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
Tom, can I say one thing?
What would that be?
I'm kind of buzzed, but I'm loving you.
Really?
Oh, my God.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. It's Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Maggie.
I love you.
Good.
I want your opinion on something.
Yes.
You're telling that girl that her talking about other guys makes her husband feel inadequate.
Right.
What about it's the other way around and you have a decent-looking wife and pleasures himself to computer porn, say, twice a week? What do you think about that?
Well, anybody who pleasures himself 6 times a week to computer porn has a number of issues to deal with.
No, twice.
Oh, I thought you said 6 times a week. Twice a week?
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the difference. Men don't care about, first of all, have no emotional attachment to these women, and secondly, have no interest in their personal lives at all. Unlike women who worry about who Ben Affleck is with or isn't with or will be with or won't be with, women who worry about whether Ricky Martin is straight or not, and all. We don't care about the personal lives of these women.
Yeah, but you got a wife that's ready to go. Why do you need the computer porn?
Well, fact is, are you ready to go 24 hours a day? Most women are not. Even when they say they are, they're not.
Okay, maybe not.
All right. So when he's up late at night and you're asleep, that's what he does. But the thing is, I bet he doesn't know the names of these chicks. He doesn't know anything about them personally, whether they have boyfriends or husbands, whether they are religious. He knows nothing about them and doesn't care. Has no interest in meeting them in person.
Okay.
That's the difference. I mean, women get emotional when they talk about whether Ben Affleck should marry Jennifer Lopez. This is very important to many women.
Well, a lot of women, not me, but I see your point, and I think you're right.
Okay, that's that. We don't care about the personal lives of these women at all.
Okay. It's just a visual.
It's just a visual thing.
1-800-5800.
I got a problem. I'm 20 years old, married, and I have a kid.
That's 2 problems.
And I got another one, too.
That's 3.
Last night, me and my best friend's wife hooked up.
That's 4 and 5.
The Tom Leykis Show.
Tom Leykis Show. This is Bree. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Bree.
I think it's perfectly natural for men and women to look at people on TV and the movies and think they're attractive and want to do them.
Yeah, but the difference is, okay, when a man sees Pamela Anderson, he doesn't think about marrying her or having babies with her or moving into her house. He thinks
as a woman, I don't think about those things with these men either.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the average woman, dear. Did you think I was broadcasting to your tooth fillings and it was all about you? I'm talking about the average woman out there, okay? The average woman who starts talking about the personal lives of celebrities. And by the way, someone's doing it because somebody's keeping Entertainment Tonight on the air. Somebody's keeping People Magazine on the newsstand, okay? Somebody is keeping Access Hollywood and Extra on the air. It ain't men.
That's true, but on the same
Just
hand...
because you are not like that doesn't mean other women aren't.
Yes, but these women who are looking at it and obsessing it, for them, it's unattainable anyway. So their boyfriends or husbands shouldn't care. They're never going to get them anyway.
I'm not talking about whether the boyfriends or husbands care. I'm asking why women care. Unlike you, most women seem to care about this.
Because they have no lives.
Well, whatever the reason, dear.
And these are the same women who are 300 pounds and eating bonbons.
Oh, no, dear. No, some are like that and some are not.
I don't know. I've never met, some really hot woman who's just obsessed over some guy constantly.
That's because she's got her mouth full most of the time with something else. Thanks for the call. Our email address is my name. It's Tom at blowmeuptom.com. You got that, Tom, at blowmeuptom.com, or our